LLJ, how are you, my friend? And thank you for our first super chat of the day. Really appreciate you. Said, I'd happily take Bakayoko. I think he's very underrated. He'd be brilliant under Slot. Well, I think we can safely say, looking at Bakayoko, he is somebody who has been on the radar. So it would not be a surprise whatsoever if Liverpool did eventually want to go and make that one happen. I've not really watched much of him, to be fair. He looked sharp last night. I thought he took his goal very well. Sold a little dummy to the two boys and then buried it into the corner. But other than that, I haven't really watched too much of the Eredivisie or him at PSV. But certainly got his goal last night and did not look out of place out there. Right, so we go straight into his comments then. If we're talking about Bakayoko, we might as well go straight into his comments. So, speaking about Liverpool and a potential move in the future, he said, I think that I can definitely join Liverpool. When asked if he was up to the level of Arne Slot's side, he said, we can be happy that we won against big names, but they didn't come with the strongest team either. It's a shame they didn't come with the strongest team. I'm in a good place. I feel the confidence of the entire club. As long as that is there, I feel good, whether I play well or badly. I would not make a move to Saudi Arabia now. I wouldn't do it, but you have to look at every situation. It's refreshing, by the way, to see an up-and-coming young player like that immediately rule out the idea of going over to the Saudi Pro League. I'm genuinely shocked that Duran is even weighing this up at such a tender young age. And, you know, he'd had a great start in the Premier League with Aston Villa since his move in. And to see him just going to the Saudi Pro League, it just doesn't sit well. I don't understand that one, unless it's the financial reasons, of course. Mido, how are you, my friend? Said, Craig, in your opinion, if you had to choose, which player would you bring in to replace Salah? Oh, God, that's such a tough question. Right, so I'm going to give you an answer, but I guess I got to start the answer with a caveat. Nobody, in my eyes, in world football can come in and replace Mo. Oh, excuse me. Nobody can come in and do it. So the name I'm going to give you is the name that I think would work in our squad, contribute to the front line, but the load would have to be shared around a bit. So I don't know why, but I'm very sweet on the idea of Bryan Mbeumo. I think it's because I love his work ethic, and I think it would work in our team. So probably Mbeumo, to be honest. I probably would have said Rodrigo from Real Madrid for the last 2 years, maybe. But right now, I don't know. There's something about Bryan Mbeumo that I really like the look of. Nico Williams will be another player I'd happily have at Liverpool. But there's just something about Mbeumo that I just think would work in our team. You know, I said before about Jared Bowen. I've always thought, not now, it's moved on too long, but a few years ago, I've always thought Jared Bowen would have been an absolute seamless fit. Semenyo's a very interesting one. You know, I'm starting to really pay more attention to Semenyo over the last while because there seems to be genuine links there to him. And I know a couple of other Liverpool fan accounts and content creators are quite optimistic on the idea of Semenyo maybe being a player that Liverpool would look at. With me, I don't know if it's snobbery around Semenyo because of the pathway through Bristol and all it's taken to get him to Bournemouth, but yeah, it's a good show. It's definitely a good show. See, Kudus, I'm not sure on. I see somebody in the chat mention Kudus. I'm not sure on him. I've watched Kudus a bit and I've seen some lazy streaks in him that I don't think would work for us. There's no doubt about the quality of the guy's football. You know, if he's at his best, he can be brilliant. But I don't know if he's consistent enough. And Mbeumo reminds me of Mane, said Philip. There's just something about Bryan Mbeumo. I think it's when I found out that he's only 24, actually, that really pushed it on. Because in my mind, he doesn't look like a 24-year-old. So I thought Mbeumo was about 27, 28. But when I found out he was 24, I'm thinking, well, hello. I could see him in our team. Now, he wouldn't replace Mo's numbers. As I've said, nobody would. And I don't expect whoever may come in, hopefully, 2-3 years down the line, will ever replace him. Because I think Mo's a unicorn. And I don't think you're going to be able to replace him. Jonathan, how are you, mate? Jonathan Bowling, said, do you think we need to sign a Mo replacement who can get the goals and assists he brings, or could we get by with a good winger and a world-class centre forward? I think you have to go the second route, Jonathan, because I don't think you are going to find a Mohamed Salah replacement in the world at the minute. Not one that can come in and immediately not see a drop-off in the output. So I think you're right. You're going to have to share around the goals through the forward line. And honestly, I say this sincerely, I never cared who scores the goals for Liverpool, as long as we win the games. I'm not really that big on individual accolades and awards either. So I'm not fussed if somebody's chasing a golden boot or whatever. Or I just want the best for the team. And that's what you got, both of that with Salah. Yes, some people feel like he may be selfish at times, but he works hard for the team as well. So Salah for me has just been brilliant, and I don't think we can replace him man for man.